Hey guys, it's me Saul, and we're immediately jumping into this. Immediately. There's no, hey, what's going on, whatever. I'm here to talk about Scar King. I'm here to prove that he is not some fraud. He's not the weakest titan in the Monsterverse. And I have proof. I've got 3 pieces of proof, 4 maybe, that prove that Scar King is actually strong. Exhibit A, his fight with Kong. Just rewatch that fight, you will see Scar King was beating the ever-loving Christ out of Kong. And before anybody says, oh, well, the novel states that if the fight continued, Kong would have killed Scar King. No, that isn't fair on one account. The novels aren't canon, okay? Look at the Godzilla vs. Kong novelization. In the novel, it says that it takes place in 2021. In the movie, it says it takes place in 2024. Yeah, they don't even take place in the same year. The novels are not canon. There's no other way around it. So the novels are not good sources of information, but the movies are, okay? Obviously. So, looking at the actual fight, it's more clear that Kong was closer to dying than Scar King was. I mean, if Kong didn't... This is something no one ever brings up. If Kong never grabbed a hold of the whip around his neck to throw Scar King off of him, he would have suffocated to death right then and there. Right then and there, he would be dead. But thankfully, he managed to grab it in time. Alright? And meanwhile, even after he threw Scar King away, let's say Scar wanted to continue fighting. Congratulations, he actually has a whip. Kong has no weapon with him. He didn't have the axe with him at that time. Scar King managed to pull it away. If anything, Scar could probably, because he's faster, he could probably have reached for the axe first. So now he's got 2 weapons and Kong has none. Yeah, Scar King would win that fight in that situation. Scar with both the whip and the axe, and Kong with nothing. Yeah, Scar King would win. Oh, and here's another thing. He did not bring Shimo out because he was scared of Kong. He brought her out to flex. Once again, if anybody brings up how the novel states that Scar King was afraid of Kong, what did I just say a moment ago? Alright? So it's very clear in that fight that if the fight continued, hell, Scar King would probably have ended up winning that fight. Do I think Scar King would beat Kong more times than not? Yes, bitch. Let's think about this. Sure, Kong has more muscle strength shit, and he's bigger, but Scar King is faster, smarter, more durable, I'll get to that later, more agile, more experience, has long range weaponry. Like, he's got so many more advantages against Kong. I'm pretty sure in a fair 1v1 fight, he would win. When I say fair, I mean excluding the Beast Glove. That amplifies Kong. Of course that won't make the fight fair. Okay? Exhibit B. The supercharged spiral breath in Brazil. Scar King tanked it. The supercharged evolved Godzilla's spiral breath didn't kill Scar King. And I'm sure you're going to see people downplaying it like, oh, it was just a grey shot, or, oh, it was only for like a split, like, few milliseconds. He still tanked the most powerful atomic breath ever seen in the Monsterverse. Like, not a lot of kaiju can do that. Not a lot of kaiju in the Monsterverse would survive that. Okay? In fact, Scar King and Kong have the exact same reaction to the different atomic breaths in GVK and GXK. In GVK, Kong got shot out of the sky with the atomic breath, and in GXK, Scar King got shot out of the sky with the spiral breath, and they had the same reaction. They both got tanked, like shot out the sky, they land on the ground, and get up immediately. If they have the same reaction to an atomic breath that is leagues in power different from one another, I'm pretty sure that means Scar King is more durable. It's just that simple. Okay? Exhibit C. Shimo and the crystal. We basically know at this point that the crystal came from Shimo's back. How do you think Scar King got that? Exactly. He grabbed the crystal from her back. He tore it off. Do you think that Shimo was just gonna stand there and let this happen? Hell no, she would have tried to fight him. Yet it's clear that Scar managed to get the crystal off her back. He managed to pry a crystal off and be able to put it on his whip in that time. So actually, he probably didn't put it on the whip. He probably just used it immediately. But you get my point. He was able to pry the crystal off of Shimo's back. Granted, this was him in his prime, but that just proves my point even further. The Scar King we see in GXK, he's a watered-down version of himself. He's much weaker than he used to be because he's long past his prime. If he was a human, he'd be like 65. Scar King in his prime was a much greater threat. That version of Scar King would beat the Christ out of Kong more. It wouldn't even be a fight. Meanwhile, if we go back into the past, Prime Scar King would probably give base Godzilla a run for his money. And once again, you're going to bring up, oh, well, Godzilla was able to beat Scar King and all his apes back in the ancient past. No, he didn't. They never say that. They say that the war with the apes nearly destroyed Godzilla, but then he imprisoned them in the fiery realm. He didn't beat them, he imprisoned them. He trapped them in there. He didn't beat them at all. Prime Scar King versus base Godzilla, which is it's debatable whether or not Godzilla in the ancient past was stronger or weaker than base Godzilla. You'll see some people say one, you'll see some people say the other. It doesn't really matter. Scar King would still beat base Godzilla if Scar was in his prime, and you can't stop me from believing that. So yeah, that's enough of me angry rambling. Scar King in his prime beats base Godzilla, Kong even with the Beast Glove, and basically everything else in the Monsterverse besides Ghidorah and Shimo. Oh, and the Burning Form, I guess, and the Super... That's 4 things. That's 4 characters. Burning Godzilla, Spiral Breath Godzilla, Ghidorah, and Shimo. The only ones that could beat Prime Scar King. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Yeah, I'll see you later.